Jesus, the very purpose of the gospel. Who can tell me? Does this make you happy as a Seventh-day Adventist? Jesus says, I'm not going to leave you alone. Come unto me, all you that what? Labor and are heavy laden. Heavy laden with what? Sin. Labor in what? Sin. What is labor? Give me another word for labor. Works. Jesus says the works of the flesh are these. And he begins to list, adultery, fornication, all these things. So he says, come unto me, all you that are working in sin and that are heavy laden with sin, and I will give you rest. I will teach you how to cease. I will teach you how to rest, because the only way that you can be saved is through rest. Are you ready for this one? Therefore, the Sabbath is the ultimate sign of rest, not works. Okay, you don't get it. You have been accused as a Seventh-day Adventist of being works oriented because you keep the Sabbath. Do you see how the devil has flipped that? The Sabbath is the sign of rest. Do you get it? Yeah. It's the sign of rest. It's not the sign of works. The Sabbath is the sign that I say I cannot sanctify myself by my works. The only way I can be sanctified is by resting in what God says. So if God says it, I rest in it. The devil has flipped the very sign of rest to be the sign of works. You see, what God wants us to understand, beloved, is that we cannot work our way to heaven. We must rest our way. That's what I said when I saw that too. I was happy. Yeah. Rest your way to heaven. We need to understand something else in this context then, that since the Sabbath is a symbol of resting in God, we can break the Sabbath whenever, say that word with me, whenever we step out of rest from God. You see, as Seventh-day Adventists, we have fallen for the lie that the Sabbath can only be broken on the seventh day. You're thinking real hard on that one. Listen to me. The moment you step out of resting in God, you have already broken the Sabbath. Are you following me? You see, beloved, we have to understand the Sabbath better than we have understood it. Remember, why did God give the Sabbath? Because the first day was good, the second day was good, the third day was good, the fourth day was good, the fifth and sixth day was good. And then, when it was all good, God said, I give you the Sabbath. What we do, first day of the week, crooked. Second day of the week, crooked. Third day of the week crooked. Fourth, fifth, sixth day of the week cursing. And then, oh, it's Sabbath now. Time to go to church. I am keeping the Sabbath. Man, we Seventh-day Adventists, we got it. And we don't realize that in order to get the proper blessing of the Sabbath, we must have lived the entire week resting and submitted in God. Then and only then could we truly enjoy the Sabbath, which is simply a symbol that you have been resting, completely resting in Him throughout the week. You see, beloved, I believe that we have been presenting the Sabbath to our fellow Christians in a way where they're just like, well, man, it's just, what's the big deal about a day? It's just a day. So, anytime we break any of the commandments of God, how many of His commandments? Any. We have already broken the Sabbatismos, the Sabbath. The Sabbath is very simple. Do you rest or do you resist? When God says something, do you rest or do you resist? It's that simple. Because if you resist, then no matter how much you come to church on Sabbath and you pay your tithes on Sabbath and you dress up on Sabbath, you are not keeping. It's a false sign to you. Do you understand? You have taken a sign. It's almost like, I hate to use this analogy. Well, I better not use that analogy. You have taken a sign when the reality is not there. Does that make sense? That's what we are doing with the Sabbath. And so